Hey all, welcome to my channel. Season 4 was interesting, put it that way. Having watched all 8 episodes, I probably would have done it by per episode, but I'd rather do the entire season. It it definitely was good. I'm not going to deny that. It was definitely good. I really enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I just thought for the first couple of episodes, it was a little slower compared to season 1 through 3. You could see that there was that build up. At least there was that build up. One caveat though is between season 3 and season 4, it you should watch Gen V because there are parts of it that explains why certain things are going on in season 4, specifically the virus. That's one aspect, as well as the doctor, and the fact that it explains a lot. What's the whole purpose of the virus and such. Now, one of the big factors is, which threw me off a little bit, was Sister Sage and that character basically, and how she it was played really well. To the point where I'm like thinking, all right, she's probably going to be killed by Homeland eventually, but it reminded me a little bit more of like a Lex Luthor, basically, and it feels like her character was based off of Lex Luthor. That the fact is like she was 10 steps ahead of everyone else, to the point where like even Homeland doesn't even realize it. And she even realizes like she tells Homelander the full plan. He'll muck it up some way or another. So it's better for her to just basically let her give him pieces and let him build it out to what she needs it to be. It was a little surprising per se. I mean, I don't know if it was shocking. I mean, it was definitely like really not something I anticipated of that one scene in the season episode 3, of course, with the multiplicity man, basically, where I'll just put it that way, it was weird. And especially the fact when French is like, I knew it, you have pink eye. You have pink eye. But in any case, the one thing though I didn't realize is the character that played Frenchie. I forgot his name. Give me a second. I forgot his name now. Give me one second. If I just Tomer Capone. I didn't realize that he was the same actor that played in Fauda too. I was like, wait, for season 1 and 2. I'm like, wait, hold on. I had no idea. I didn't realize that. I mean, I put 2 and 2 together eventually. But in any case, it was one of those things where it was really interesting. Also seeing like how we've had in this case Simon Pegg back for the season, considering that had Amazon Prime, I mean not had Amazon Prime, but had The Boys been casted 20 years ago, this was made for him. Basically, this character was made for him. I mean, essentially, when the guy was writing the script, he pretty much had Simon Pegg in mind. Basically, I mean, honestly, if you look at a graphic novel, so much similarities. So it's great to see him in this, see him in the season again as well too. Sadly, the fact that he had to die the way he had to die, it was interesting. Put it that way, to say the least. It's just how he had to forget because he was going, a little bit of dementia and such, or Alzheimer's. Sorry, Alzheimer's. But in any case, it's interesting how the role of Firecracker came in and the fact that now I don't want to say has a little bit of control over Homelander, but if she, it'd be interesting to see how it works with season 5, which apparently is going to be the final season, but I don't know if that's true or not. But how she can play or be the new Madeline Stillwell. That'll be interesting to see if what happens in season 5 with her, because like considering she's taking all these meds, it'll be interesting to see like if she gets cancer or some nature or whatever it may be, and if it kind of through her breast milk um, passes it on to Homelander in some form or way. Because like we're seeing that Homelander, um, though he is a superhero, he does age like a human. Um, what's really fascinating though is in the final episode, of course, seeing is how Ryan was being built or being brought in to essentially take down Homelander, and with it, spoiler alert, he kills off what's her name, the CIA lady. I forgot her name now. I'm sorry. Um, but anyways, he kills her, and once he kills her, he was okay with it. He even though he knows what his father Homelander's is and doing, what he's been finally told the truth about him, kind of refusing for a little bit, then realizing what, it's true. It's just more of a case where like he has no problems. It's like he's leaning towards being like a Homelander in that aspect. But I mean, it's a possibility. We'll see what happens. And then of course the fact with A Train wrestling with his conscience, I think we were seeing that progress from season 2 or towards the tail end of season 1 into season 4. How A Train eventually turns like Maeve, having that sort of conscience, not consciousness, but conscience that starts overwhelming him to the point like he wanted to be a superhero, and he realized I have to be that. And then of course the fact of the matter is Butcher. I guess it's the side effect of V having this new set of powers, which of course, dying of a tumor, that this new power that he has almost become like Venom like. And what he did to Veronica, uh, really threw me off. I'm like, I did not see that happening. Um, and it's kind of interesting to see like Victoria's daughter, going to the same home, group home, foster, orphanage pretty much, that Victoria went to, uh, and the aspect of she might grow up the way she did basically, and then there's also the perspective of Kumiko, which I think some people do realize, and maybe it just went over some people's heads, but Kumiko, the fact that she started talking in a ways, though the person she started talking to was the one that was most likely going to be the one that should have heard it and would have, you know, not taken it for granted, but more so taken more, knowing what the magnitude of her speaking for the first time since she went mute psychologically. Whereas Frenchie pretty much was probably is not gonna remember it anyways when she basically called out to him. Um, and the other aspect as well too, which is kind of interesting, is the fact that Huey, um, macking on the clone or the shapeshifter. The question is the shapeshifter a female or male? I mean, whoever the shapeshifter becomes, it's that gender. But at the same time, originality, was it a male or female? I'm kind of curious to see. Uh, and of course, Starlight giving that one liner basically, which was really funny. I thought that was a little funny, actually, quite honestly. I mean, that's the one thing about this season as well too. It still had that sort of shame, shock factor, but also had that same dark humor that was in season 2 and 3, of course. And of course, cliffhanger as well. Them leaving us with the cliffhanger with Soldier Boy. It'll be interesting to see how that works out as well too. But the fact is like there's no president now. There's another president, or the Speaker of the House has become president, And I think we're going to see, of course, Homelander, based on the graphic novels as well, to Homelander becoming sort of a presidential or leader, global leader at that point. It'll be interesting to see how Noir comes in. Quite honestly, it's pretty funny. I didn't realize this, but the actual actor that plays Black Noir also is really a narcoleptic. And I'm like, wait, what? To the point where like I've seen videos and such or pictures of the cast members taking pictures with him when he's falling asleep on set and such. So it's pretty funny. I mean, funny in a ways that he's narcoleptic. But anyways, um, I want to say that season 4 was definitely better than season 3. Um, I would love to see how this progresses in season 5. If season 5 is the final season, I think it's going to go out with a bang. But I want to say that they could have extended it out a little bit more till season 6, maybe. Because like I would love to see another 2 more seasons of this show. I think it's one of those. I think this is what um, Hancock should have been, basically. I mean, this is what Hancock could have been. I think they just ruined it in ways, making him a god and such. I guess Will Smith having that good guy image. It would have been interesting to see him like going down this path, Hancock. Like I am a superhero. Like battling. Going back and forth and essentially battling his demons and such. But at least with with the boys, it comes to a point where it's taking the idea of like what Justice League would have been, and sort of instead of from an evil character, but more so, evil characters, or more so the archetypes, but more so to the point like they're still all superheroes, but the fact that they are manufactured superheroes. I'm kind of curious to see if they would bring in or explanation of the origination of V, but not so the V because we know that origination of V comes from the Nazi world, but more so to the point of like there had to have been a superhero that was sort of a mutant that came about as a result of this. I would love to see that origin aspect of things because like when the Nazis, I mean Soldier Boy, is a play on of course Captain America a little bit, but um, it would be interesting to see if there was an actual superhero that was produced via non V. That would be interesting to see if that ever came about. But with that, I'll leave it at that. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. What do you think of season 4? Do you think the season 5 should be the final season, or do you think there should be? I hope for another season of the boys. Um, Again, I read all your comments. I do respond to them when they warrant a response. I did go over my allocated time that I normally go over. I mean, I try to keep it between 5 to 10 minutes, coming close to 15 minutes. So I always try to cut it at 15 minutes, anyways, for sure. But anyways, in that situation, if you like my channel, like my videos, like my content, please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. With that, I'll leave it at that. Unfiltered, unedited, and of course, always unrehearsed. Until next time.